Hello everyone, good evening to all. So just confirm me once that my voice is audible on the OBS platform and on the Zoom platform. Just confirm me once that my voice is audible. The OBS platform chat box is here in the YouTube. So as well as the chat box is there in the OBS platform. So just confirm me once that my voice is audible and the PDF file is visible to you, so that we can start our discussion on this very much important topic, that is GSTR 9 and 9C return. Yes, sir, I am waiting for your replies. I suppose at my end everything is okay and my voice is audible and the PDF file is also visible. Okay. So now the request is that the participants who are going to join this session through the YouTube platform, I'm just going to request that please share this link with your friends and other professionals, so that they can also join this session on the GSTR 9 and 9C. Basically, in this session, we are not going to discuss the clause by clause analysis of GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay. And also, we are not going to discuss about the law and all these things. We have certain questions we are going to discuss on the questions related to GSTR 9 and 9C in this particular webinar. Okay. Because if I am going to analyze the clause by clause analysis of the GSTR 9 and 9C, in that case, it will take time. Okay. And we have just 8 days to complete our GSTR 9 and 9C related work. Okay. and we have a lot of doubts in our mind, we have a lot of questions in our mind related to the GSTR 9 and 9C return. And in this webinar I am going to share the questions and the probable answers, the suitable answers of those questions. Okay, one more request is that if you have any question related to the GSTR 9 and 9C, this is that question may be related to the filing of the GSTR 9 and 9C. That question may be related to the provisions of law. That question may be related to various tables of the GSTR 9 and 9C. There is just one requirement. You just need to put the same in the comment box. Okay, chat box is there in the live YouTube platform, and chat box is also there on our platform. Okay, so you just need to put the questions in that chat box. I will take that question immediately. Okay, so this facility is also available in this webinar. Okay, so we all know that we need to complete the GSTR 9 and 9C on time. There are various complex situations are there. There are various doubts are there in our mind, and I have tried my best to cover certain questions related to GSTR 9 and 9C return. Okay, so that when you will file the GSTR 9 and 9C return, in that case your return will be in a proper way. Okay, that is what is the purpose of this webinar. Okay, this is a warm up session, you can say. This is an analytical session, you can say. Okay, or you can say this is a summary session for GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay, we are not going to cover the complete concepts, but we are going to cover complete things in certain question and answers. Okay, so I am not going to take your much more time. This session, we will complete this session in 40 to 45 minutes only. Okay, so we'll try to cover each and every question, and if you have any specific question related to GSTR 9 and 9C, in that case also you are free to raise the same in the chat box. I will pick that question and I will provide you the suitable reply. Okay, so now we are going to start our discussion on certain questions related to GSTR 9 and 9C. And first, I am going to take the questions related to GSTR 9 because I need to file my GSTR 9 return first. And after filing my GSTR 9 return, we are going to file our GSTR 9C return. Okay. The point is that, sir, we all are filing the GSTR 9 and 9C returns since last 4 to 5 years. Okay, in 2017-18 we had also filed the 9 and 9C return, and now also we are filing the 9 and 9C return, but there are a lot of changes. There are a lot of things we need to be keep in our mind while filing that return. Okay, I will take this session as a fast track session for the 9 and 9C. Okay, because I very well know that we all are busy in certain compliances. We all are busy in filing our 9 and 9C. We all are busy in certain compliances related to GST, certain litigations. Okay, so this session is a very summary session for the doubts. Okay, and post completing this session, this is my assurance to you, your all questions related to 9 and 9C will be resolved. Okay, so be with me. We are going to take the questions one by one, and I will provide you the answer, the suitable answer for that as per the provisions of law. Okay. Now, the first question we have related to GSTR 9. Also, we had divided the questions into the parts and tables. Okay. The parts which are there in the GSTR 9 and 9C return, the same parts we have taken for our discussion, and related question we had taken from that part, so that our discussion will be comprehensive and our discussion will be complete in all aspects. Okay, now sir, part number second, table number 4, that is the first part which is there. First part is there related to the GSTN and basic details, which is automatically auto populated in the GSTR 9 return, so there is no question in that particular regard. Okay, now the point is that part number second is completely related to our outward supply. Okay, so outward में मुझे क्या क्या डाउट हो सकते हैं. Part second is related to my complete outward supply, and what are the doubts in that outward supply we are going to discuss one by one. First point, whether supply made to registered person and unregistered person should match as the GSTR1 return, or it should match with the books of accounts. This is the most common question. Okay, many people are coming to me, many professionals are coming to me, and they are saying that, sir, we need to show that B2B and B2CS figure in the GSTR9 return as per books of accounts or as per GSTR1. So in this case, my answer is that if your GSTR1 and GSTR3, GSTR1 and books of accounts is same, in that case, there is no issue. Okay. Now, the point is that suppose in your books of accounts, the B2B and B2C in total are same. Suppose B2B and B2CS ka total is 50 lakh rupees is the taxable value in my books of accounts and 50 lakh rupees in my GSTR1 return. But there is change interlink. That means B2B ka figure there is 35 lakh in my books of accounts and 15 lakh is my B2CS in my books of accounts. But if in GSTR1 return there is 40 lakh rupees under B2B and 10 lakh rupees under B2C. Okay, that means cumulative figure is same. But if I am going to take it separately for B2B and B2CS, in that case that is different. So now the point is that in that case we are going to take the figure as per the books of accounts. Okay, because the cumulative figure is same. When the cumulative figure is same, in that case I am going to take the figure as per my books of accounts. Okay, because my books of accounts is final. Now your point is that now if there is any difference in the GSTR1 and in the books of accounts, in that case how we are going to take the figures. Okay, so now in that case we are going to take the figure as per my GSTR1 return. Okay, and if there is any amendment in the next financial year till the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, that is 30th November, in that case we are going to show the figures as per GSTR1, and the amendment we are going to show in my table number 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, we are going to check the same. So the point is that related to B2B and B2CS. Okay, in that case, if the figures are same, in that case we are going to take the same as GSTR1. If there is cumulative figure is same, but the separate figure is different related to B2B and B2CS, in that case there is requirement that I am going to take the figures as per my books of accounts. Now point is that if there is any difference in the books of accounts and in the GSTR1 return, in that case if I had made all the adjustment in the next financial year till the timeline of section 16 subsection 4 of CGST Act, that is 30th November, in that case I am going to show the figure as per my GSTR1 return here. Okay, and amendment will automatically showing in the table number 10 and 11. Okay, now sir, one question is that I have my GSTR1, I have my books of accounts, and I had already shown the figure as per my GSTR1, and there are certain adjustment which I had not taken care till date. Okay, that means 30th नवंबर की टाइमलाइन जाने के बाद में भी मैंने उन क्वेश्चंस को नहीं देखा है, उन GSTR1 से रिलेटेड, सप्लाई से रिलेटेड एडजस्टमेंट नहीं किए हैं. In that case where I need to show the figures, that is what is the point. Okay, so in that case we have table number 4, and we have this tab, that is supply and tax declared through amendment and supply and tax reduced through amendment. That means if there is any adjustment which I have not taken care till the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, in that case I need to make those adjustment in these points K and L. That is, if there is any declare, in that case I am going to show the figure here, and if there is any reduction due to that amendment, in that case I am going to show the figure here. Okay, that is what is the point. So this is complete discussion on my B2B and B2CS, that is my outward supply. Now this is the most common questions. Now second question I have, what type of supply is to be covered under the definition of zero rated supply? What is to be covered under that zero rated supply? So I can cover export in that zero rated supply, or I can cover the SEZ supply, that is special economic zone related supplies in that zero rated supply. That means if person is going to make any supply to special economic zone, or if a person is going to make any supply outside India, in that case that will be covered under the definition of zero rated supply. Okay, that means whenever there is an export and whenever there is a supply to special economic zone, in that case the same should be covered under the definition of zero rated supply, and we need to show the same in our GSTR9 return. Okay, now two questions we had already completed. First question was related to the showing the liability or the showing the outward supply. Okay, B2B and B2CS. Second question is related to zero rated supply. Now I have third question. Sir, one more request from my side. If you have any question in between the session, or जब भी मैं जो भी टॉपिक डिस्कस कर रहा हूं, इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू दैट पॉइंट, देन प्लीज ask the same in the chat box so that we can take that question as well. Okay, or you may WhatsApp me that question. We'll take that question as well. Whether there is requirement to pay the GST on advances on account of goods. This is the question. That means in case of supply of goods, if there is any advance, suppose I need to make a supply of goods to Mr. X. Okay. Or in that case, before supply, I had received advance of 50 lakh rupees. In that case, whether there is requirement pay the GST on the advances amount on account of supply of goods. So the answer is no. There is no requirement to pay the GST on account of supply of the goods. But if there is supply of services, on that supply of services, if I had received any advances, in that case, GST will be paid on that figure. Okay. So that is what is the point. Now, whether RCM figure should be taken from the books or GSTR 3B return. So this question is also very much interesting, that we need to show the RCM figure as per my books of accounts or as per my GSTR 3B. Suppose करो ना सर, एक situation ऐसी है, as per my books of accounts there is a reverse charge liability is on 50 lakh rupees, and in my GSTR 3B return I have paid RCM on 45 lakh rupees only, and I have not made any adjustment in the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. That means अब उस 5 लाख रुपए पे मुझे आरसीएम के अंदर में टैक्स पे करना है. Now, question is that if I am going to show that figure in my GSTR 9 return, that means if I am going to show that figure in the GSTR 9 return as per books of accounts, that means 50 lakh rupees. In that case, there is requirement that I need to make the payment of taxes on that 5 lakh rupees. But I will not be eligible to take the input tax credit because the timeline of section 16(4) has already been lapsed. Now, the point is that if you are not going to show the figure in your GSTR 9 return, that means you are just going to show that 45 lakh rupees in the GSTR 9 return. In that case, you have option, you can show your 5 lakh rupees amount in any of the GSTR 3B return, because the timeline of section 16(4) will not be applicable in case of RCM, because in case of RCM we are going to pay the taxes and we are claiming the input tax credit, that is self invoicing mechanism. Okay, so this is my opinion, this is my suggestion. Whenever there is a difference between the RCM on account of books and on account of GSTR 3B, in that case, if there is any amount is payable, in that case we are not going to show the same in the GSTR 9 return, and we are going to show the same in next month GSTR 3B and pay the liability, so that we can eligible to claim the input tax credit. That is what is the logic, that is what is the purpose. Okay, now point is that second situation, if there is RCM related liability as per books of accounts is 50 lakh rupees, and as per GSTR 3B it's 45 lakh rupees, and 5 lakh rupees I have paid during the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. In that case, in GSTR 9 return, I am going to show the figure as per my books of accounts, that is 50 lakh rupees, and I am going to show the same in the table number 10, 11, 12 and 13. Okay. So, sir, my speed is okay now. I am just going to take multiple questions, and I'm just going to take multiple scenarios, multiple questions, hence the speed is slowly fast. Okay, and then if you had less shown any outward supply in your GSTR 3B return, in that case there is specific tab, that is supply tax declared through amendment point number K, table number 4. Okay, in that case we are going to show the figure here, and we need to pay the taxes through DRC 03 in the GSTR 9 return. That is what is the option which is available in our hand. Okay, now next question, what type of special care should be taken care while showing the credit note? So this is the important issue which I want to share with you, that whenever we are going to book the credit note, that means whenever we are going to reduce our output liability, in that case we need to ensure ourselves that our counterparty, that means our buyer, has already reversed the input tax credit, and that person has shown that reversal under other reversal tab, so that At the time of litigation, departmental authority can check these things. Okay, that is what is the point. Now, one important question from your side, that sir, how we can check that counterparty has reversed the input tax credit or not, and how we can ensure ourselves. So for that purposes, you just need to take one declaration in advance from your buyer that you had reversed that input tax credit in case of the sales return. Okay, this we can do. That is what is the suggestion from my side. Now, next point, what is the purpose of supply of tax declared through amendment and reduced through amendment? So the purpose is that if there is any supply on which you had not paid the tax during the financial year 22-23 or till the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, in that case we have option, we can show that amount in these points. Okay, that is what is the thing. And if we are going to show anything in these amendment tab, in that case we need to make the payment through the DRC 03, okay, in cash. That is what is the option we have, and we need to do this. So these are the important questions related to part number 2, table number 4 of the GSTR 9 return. अगर आप लोग इन क्वेश्चंस को कवर कर लेते हैं, अगर ये क्वेश्चंस के आंसर आपके दिमाग में क्लियर है, इन दैट केस यू कैन इजीली फाइल, स्मूथली फाइल योर GSTR 9 and 9C return. Okay, so these are the questions related to the outward supply. If you have any question, any doubt related to these questions, you have option, you can put the same in the chat box. Okay, so questions can be put on the YouTube live platform and on the OBS platform. Okay, I have both the platforms, so this is completely depend on you. You may put the questions on the OBS or on the YouTube. Now, part number 2, table number 5. This is the important question, that what is the difference between non-GST nil rated and exempted supply, how we can bifurcate. So non-GST supply is totally outside the purview of the GST, that is 5 petroleum product. These products are outside the purview of the GST, that means GST will not be applicable on that particular type of supply. Exempted supply means that particular type of supply on which government has issued one exemption notification regarding that taxability. Okay, or in that case input tax credit is also not allowed it. Okay, and the important point is there, if there is any person who is going to sell the exempted and the taxable, in that case there is reversal of input tax credit on account of rule number 42 and 43. Okay, so this is my part number 2. Okay, आज हम लोग जो भी चीजें इस सेशन में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, आज हम लोग जो भी चीजें इस सेशन में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, ऑल दोस थिंग्स आर द ब्रीफ समरी, ब्रीफ डिस्कशन ऑन द GSTR 9 and 9C return, so that you can file your 9 and 9C return very smoothly. And if you have any question related to that, so that you will get the solution, you will get the answer of that question. Okay, now part number 3, table number 6, that is input tax credit से related questions. First question, whether bifurcation of input tax credit as input, input service and capital goods is required. So in that case, answer is that input service and capital goods bifurcation is optional. Okay, but there is requirement that we need to show the input and capital goods figure separately. That means if there is any input tax credit on account of input service, in that case that input can be clubbed with the input. Okay, and capital goods we need to show separately, so that there is a separately showing of amount of input service, input on account of services is completely optional, but input and capital goods is required, we need to show. Now, whether bifurcation of input tax credit from registered person and unregistered person is required on account of RCM? Yes. Okay, there is requirement to show the RCM figure separately for registered and separately for unregistered person. There is requirement. Okay, now how we can have the idea about that this person is registered or this person is not registered. So for that purposes, you just need to check your GSTR 2A or GSTR 2B return. If you are finding any invoices of that particular supplier, in that case that person will be registered person, and if there is no entry in the GSTR 2A and 2B return, in that case that person will be unregistered person. Or you can also get the idea about the invoices shared by that person. Okay, if there is unregistered person, in that case we are going to show the amount in that particular tab, and if that person is registered person, in that case we are going to show the figure in that registered person tab. Now, Whether GST is applicable on import of goods. This is also commonly asked question that sir, GST will be applicable on the import of goods. So in case of import of goods, there is the provision that we need to pay the GST under reverse charge mechanism. That means in case of import, we are going to pay the taxes and we are claiming the input tax credit. That is what is the provision which will be applicable in case of import of goods. And show whenever there is an import of goods, we are also claiming the input tax credit because we had already paid the taxes on account of that import under reverse charge mechanism. Okay. Now, part number 3, table number 7. This table is completely related to the reversals. Okay, if you had claimed any input tax credit, okay, and you want to reverse the same due to certain reasons, in that case we need to show the same in these particular paras. Okay, suppose if there is reversal on account of non-payment to the supplier within the 180 days, you had bought the goods from the supplier, but you failed to pay the amount to that particular person within 180 days. In that case, we need to reverse that input tax credit. Okay, that will be covered under 37. If there is any reversal on account of input service distributor, in that case, the same will be covered. And if there is any reversal on account of exempted and taxable supply, that means I am a supplier and I am supplying taxable goods and exempted goods as well. And I am using a particular input product for that exempted supply as well as for that taxable supply. In that case, I need to reverse the input tax credit on proportionate basis. Okay. So in that case, the rule will be applicable. That is rule number 42. And if there is any reversal on account of the capital goods, suppose there is a machinery and I am manufacturing certain units, and through that machinery certain units manufactured are exempted and certain units manufactured are taxable. In that case, I need to partially reverse the input tax credit on account of that capital goods, and that will be also covered under the rule number 43. Also under GST, we have a specific list, that is negative list under GST. Okay, that means if you are going to want those type of products which are mentioned in the section 17 subsection 5 of CGST Act, in that case that input is blocked under section 17 and you are not eligible to claim the input tax credit, but there is requirement that we need to show the input tax credit in that particular tab. Now, one important suggestion from my side, whenever you are going to file your GSTR 9 and 9C return, first check the GSTR 2B return or 2A return, so that you will get an idea that if there is any input tax credit which is blocked, if there is any reversal is there on account of rule number 37, 39, if you are going to check the that is ledger of that particular party, so that if there is any reversal and the taxpayer is not done in the GSTR 3B return, in that case we can do the same in the GSTR 9 return, so that we can adjust the same through our input tax credit by filing the DRC 03. And if you are not going to do the same, in that case, while filing the GSTR 9C return, if you are going to show the same, in that case, you need to pay the same through the cash ledger. Okay. Because in my 9, I can use the credit balance, but in my 9C, all the liabilities to be paid through only cash ledger. Okay. That is what is the important thing. Now, part number 3, which is related to my reconciliation of input tax credit. Before that, we have one important question. We have one tab that is 7H, and in that case, I need to show the other reversals. Sir, what do you mean by this other reversal? Batao. So, if there is any reversal which you have shown in your GSTR 3B return, in that case, that reversal is automatically auto-populated in that particular tab, that is 7H. Now, second point is that if you have not shown any reversal and if you want to show the reversal in the GSTR 9 return itself, in that case, you can also show the figure in the other reversal tab, and for that reversal, you need to pay the amount through the DRC 03 and you can adjust the same through your electronic credit ledger. This facility is also available. Now, part number 3, table number 8 is related to my reconciliation between the input tax credit as per table number 8A and GSTR 3B. Now, point is that सर क्या ये रिकंसिलेशन हो सकता है? सो जस्ट वन सजेशन फ्रॉम माय साइड that sir there is certain technical issues and due to that the data auto populated in the table 8a multiple time many times it happens that if you are going to generate the data from the GSTR 2b and 2a return the same you will find out certain differences from the data generated from GSTR 2a and 2b and with the table number 8a. So this is my suggestion to you. You just need to compare the data from the Excel sheet generated from the GSTR portal. Okay. And then after, if the Excel sheet generated from GSTN portal and the table 8A is showing the same figure, in that case, we need to provide the reconciliation in GSTR 3B wali input tax credit and the 8A. And if you found any differences in the input tax credit which is reflected in the table number 8A and which is available on the GSTN portal, in that case, there is no requirement of reconciliation. You just need to reconcile your input tax credit with your GSTR to be return and ready that reconciliation for future purposes. Okay. If due to that, if there is any litigation in future, in that case, you can argue that sir, the input tax credit which is available on the GSTN portal under 2B, we had claimed the input tax credit on the basis of that GSTR to be return. Okay. So that is what is the point, part number 3 and table number 8. Sir, are you getting my points? Okay. These questions are the very commonly asked question. Okay. And if you know the answer of all these questions, in that case, definitely you can easily or smoothly file your GSTR 9 and 9C return. Now, part number 4, table number 9, whether the tax payable should match with the tax paid as per forward charge and reverse charge. Sir, your part 4, the figure which is shown in that part 4, that is tax payable, is completely that amount which you had paid in your GSTR 3B return or which you had paid through electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger during the period. Now, point is that this tax payable figure is adjusted. That means you can change that tax payable figure and your tax payable figure should match with the outward supply plus your reverse charge mechanism. Okay. And if there is any difference in between your declared liability, that is RCM, and your outward supply and the tax payable, in that case, whatever will be the difference, if there is any payable, in that case you need to pay the same through the DRC 03, and if there is any reversible, in that case you are not eligible to take back your excess paid outward liability. That is what is the point which will be applicable in case of part number 4, table number 9. Now, part number 5, 11, 12, 13, sir, what is the purpose of these tables? So the point is that these tables are only for that particular purpose. That means if there is any input tax credit or outward liability which is related to financial year 22-23, but you had shown that liability or you had claimed that input tax credit or you had reversed that input tax credit during the next financial year till the timeline of section 16 subsection 4, that is 30th November, in that case you need to show the figures in the table number 10, 11, 12 and 13. Now, part number 5, table number 14. That means what type of information is fed in this table? This table is completely related to your liability on account of the payment which you are going to show in your table number 10, 11, 12 and 13. That means suppose there is any outward supply which you had shown in the next financial year. In that case, table number 14 is asking from you that sir, you had made the payment of taxes on account of that liability or not. In that case, we need to show that payable amount is this and we had already paid this amount. Because if we are going to show the figure in next financial year, in that case, this is sure that we had already made the payment in that financial year. So the figure which we are going to show in the payable tab and the figure which we are going to show in the paid tab should be same. Part number 6, table number 15 and 16 is completely optional related to refund and related to certain supplies. Okay, this is optional for financial year 22-23, and if you are not going to show the same, then this is completely okay. Now, question number 10, how we need to show the outward HSN code wise summary. So, this is my request to you. Whenever you are going to show that HSN wise summary of the outward supply, in that case, that supply, that outward supply related HSN code should be matched with your books of accounts, not from your GSTR1. Okay, because here we are going to show the complete outward supply which we had made. Whether that outward supply related to that financial year, or we had shown that outward supply related to the financial year in the next financial year, or we had shown that outward supply in the GSTR9 return itself. So the total amount will be as per my books of accounts. So in case of HSN summary, as per outward supply should be same as per my books of accounts. And if my turnover is 5 crore or more, in that case 6 digit HSN code is required. And if there is the turnover is 5 crore or less, in that case that is the turnover is below 5 crore, in that case 4 digit HSN code is required. So these are the questions, the most commonly asked questions with respect to the GSTR 9 return. If you have any question, if you have any point, in that case, you just need to comment in the chat box. I have certain questions on the OBS platform as well. So we'll take that question as well. And we'll also write the answers very soon for that questions. Okay. There are certain definitions, certain questions. So if you have any question, you may comment in the chat box. Chat box is there. Your concept is clear regarding the questions which we had taken with respect to GSTR 9. I'm just expecting answer from each and everyone in the chat box that these questions are okay for you. You got that point? Or if you have any question, then please comment in the chat box. Now I will not take your much more time. We'll conclude the session within next 10 to 15 minutes and we'll discuss the certain important questions related to GSTR 9C return, that is reconciliation statement. So before taking that point, I just want your comment in the chat box that your concepts are clear related to GSTR 9 return, the questions which we had taken. Now, we are going to take the questions, important questions related to GSTR 9C return, that is reconciliation statement. Now, the first question is that what is the applicability of GSTR 9C return? So, if your taxable turnover, if your turnover is above 5 crore, in that case, the GSTR 9C is applicable. That means 5 crore or more. In that case, GSTR 9 is applicable and we need to present the reconciliation statement. Now, whether the audited turnover and the GST turnover reconciliation required? Yes. Whatever will be the turnover which you had shown in your income tax audit report, the same should be reconciled with the turnover which is mentioned in the GSTR 9 return. That means the GST turnover which you have shown in the GSTR 9 return, and in GSTR 9 return you had come that figure and you had get that figure from your GSTR 3B and GSTR 1 return. Okay. Now, what is the treatment of discount under GST? So, sir, as we all know that there are two type of discounts are there. One is trade discount and another is financial discount. Okay, if the terms of discount has already been decided before or at the time of invoice or supply, in that case, that discount will be treated as trade discount and GST will be applicable. But if the terms related to discount as decided post supply, in that case that discount will be treated as the financial discount and in that case GST will not be applicable. So we need to make the adjustment of that discount in the financial statement in the GSTR 9C return accordingly. Because in the GSTR 9C return, when you are going to provide the reconciliation between the audited sales and the GST sales, in that case there is requirement to provide the details related to trade discount and the financial discount so that your turnover got reconciled with the audited turnover and with the GST and turnover. That is what is the logic of the discussion of the discount parameter. Next, how to calculate rate-wise outward liability? Because in my GSTR 9C return, there is requirement that we need to provide the rate-wise outward liability. So in that case, how I can calculate that liability? So for that purposes, I just need to take the consolidated GSTR 1 return from that particular party and I am going to make certain filters on the rate. Okay, and so that I will find out the rate-wise liability interstate and intrastate. And there are certain softwares are also competent who can generate the rate wise sheet for outward liability. We can also take the that particular sheet to fill the details in the GSTR 9C return. If you require the format, in that case, you just need to comment in the chat box. We'll provide that format as well. Now, whether rate-wise outward liability should be matched with the table of GSTR 9, that means the tax payable table which we had shown in the GSTR 9 return and the figure we had shown in the tax payable head should match with the rate-wise outward liability. So the answer is yes, there is requirement that the same should be matched. And if there is any reason, in that case, we need to provide the reasons in the GSTR 9C. And as per my suggestion, suppose there is any liability which we had paid in the next financial year and we are just going to adjust the same in the current financial year. In that case, there is situation the rate wise outward liability as per books of accounts and the tax payable will be different. Okay. So in my suggestion, you just need to change the figure in GSTR 9 tax payable head. Okay. So the figure will be tally, figure will be reconciled in the GSTR 9C return so that no any unreconciled figure will be shown in the GSTR 9C return. That is what is the logic. That is what is the purpose of this particular thing. Okay. Whether item wise input reconciliation is required. So this is completely optional for you. If the data is prepared, you can provide the item wise bifurcation of the input tax credit. And if the data is not with you, in that case, this table is completely optional. What type of liability to be shown in the additional liability tab? Suppose there is any liability which you are going to show in the GSTR 9C return itself. That means you had not declared that particular liability in the GSTR 1 and the GSTR 3B return during the period or during the period which is applicable as per the section number 16 subsection 4 or in the GSTR 9 return. In that case, you have the last option that you can show the same in the GSTR 9C return. But if you are going to show any figure in the GSTR 9C return under additional liability tab, in that case, you need to adjust the same through your electronic cash ledger only through the DRC 03. That is what is the option which is available. What type of attachment is required with the GSTR 9C return? So there are requirement to attach the trading and profit and loss account and your balance sheet. That is audited balance sheet and audited trading P&L is required to be attached with the GSTR 9C return. So these are the commonly asked questions regarding GSTR 9 and GSTR 9C return. As initially I committed that we'll conclude the session within 40 to 45 minutes. So now 14 minutes over and we had concluded all the questions related to GSTR 9 and 9C return which are commonly asked and which are very much important while filing the GSTR 9 and 9C return. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, if you have any query related to GSTR 9 and 9C return, in that case till 31st December, this questionnaire tab is available for you on this YouTube platform and on the OBS platform. You can ask the questions on that particular platform, will provide the solution. Okay. And also you will connect with me over mail or over WhatsApp contact number. The contact number is also available. Okay. So these two facilities are available from my side. So this is all from my side and there are certain questions on the OBS platform, will provide the written answer on that particular platform itself. Okay. So if you have any question related to 9 and 9C, just put it down in the chat box. And if there is no question, in that case, I'm going to sign off for the today's webinar. And in future, if you have any questions, this chat box is here till 31st December. You just need to put your questions in the tab. We'll provide you the solution within the given time, within the reasonable time. Okay. Because I know very well that this time is the peak season for the professionals to file the GSTR 9 and 9C return. So I planned this particular type of webinar in form of question and answer so that your all questions has covered in that particular session. Okay, that is what is the purpose of this. Also, recording of this webinar is available on the YouTube platform till 31st December. So you can watch it whenever you have any issue. And I tried to cover all the questions, the important questions related to GSTR 9 return and 9C return in this webinar itself. So I suppose there is no any question on the YouTube platform and questions on the OBS platform will provide the answer in the written. Okay. So thank you everyone for the patience learning. We'll meet you soon in next webinar.